It is time for Filmgazm bonus episode 8. As promised in episode 30, The Legacy of the Joker, we are here to talk about Joker. 2019's probably most anticipated movie of the fall, starring Joaquin Phoenix in a career-defining performance as Arthur Fleck, the man who would be the Clown Prince of Crime. A movie mired with controversy, a movie a lot of people were afraid to see for various reasons, and a movie that I don't think will ever be forgotten.
Dare I say the most controversial movie of all time.
Of all time? All right.
Well, I say that because it can only, with the internet age, and
Yeah.
it can only get bigger. Press and media can only get bigger for things.
True.
And so with a movie like this, where it's hard to not offend people these days.
Yeah.
And a movie like this definitely offends people and definitely gets you kind of riled up and definitely makes you feel some way. Don't know how that is going to be, but it's going to make you feel some certain way.
That's for damn sure. Yeah.
It's going to move you. Yeah.
Well, today we are going to dissect this powerhouse of a movie, its influences, its legacy, potentially, and the performances it contains. And massive spoiler warning. So
yeah,
stop listening now if you've not seen this movie. You
and
definitely should.
Yeah, go check it out. It is really good. We'll say that to the people who are going to stop listening now. It's a good movie.
Definitely worth it. And without further ado, I am Connor Eyzaguirre.
I am Austin Johnson.
And this is Filmgazm. Joker came out this past week on Friday, October 4th, debuting, I think, the highest October box office debut ever.
Yep.
And it's already critically acclaimed and unbelievable. It was an incredible film. One of the smartest comic book movies I've ever seen. Heavily influenced by two films in particular, Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driver and The King of Comedy.
Yes.
Both of which we will talk about in the next few minutes. And what were you expecting from Joker?
Well, when we went to dinner before we saw the movie,
yeah,
we both kind of predicted it, and we were both
were both pretty close. Yeah,
we were both right in some ways and wrong in some ways.
Yeah.
But the way it happened is you have got to watch it. All the stuff you're reading and all these takes you're hearing about, you really have to experience it to even understand or to comprehend what Connor and I are going to talk about.
Yeah.
And how it parallels Taxi Driver in an uncanny way. But it doesn't bother me at all. I actually think it's very cool that Todd Phillips, the guy who directed Hangover and Old School,
Jesus,
and Due Date, these wacky ass comedies I really enjoy, but they're not like high intellectual, high art, high concept. This, however, Joker is very high concept.
I never would have thought that he had something to say.
No, neither did I. But we believe now, for sure. Todd Phillips was a Hollywood, success story. Now he is a director.
Yeah.
Where people are going to certainly remember his name now and not just be like, oh, is that guy who made that silly comedy with a bunch of dudes being stupid? No, he made Joker, and that's a big deal for a director, as you look on his filmography for the years to come. That's going to certainly be the first movie on that bill. Yeah. Is Joker.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's pretty amazing that A, Todd Phillips would even think to do this,
yes,
and B, that it would be a massive success.
I know. Well, we've talked a lot about this, Disney and the state of Marvel and the state of comic book movies fucking rule right now.
Yeah.
Superhero content is really good, and it's a lot of money is being spent on it. A lot of good actors are putting their foot in it. Well, here we have the anti-hero, and really, it's a DC comic movie, but not at all. Not really at all.
No.
Yeah, sure, he's wearing the clown paint and all this stuff, but Arthur Fleck is in no way, to me, anything we've ever seen in the DC realm. In the comic book realm. Period.
Yeah.
This is like this is like an homage to the 70s to me altogether, especially New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, it's Gotham, but let's be honest. Especially in this one. Tim Burton made it look like Gotham, but this is... Todd Phillips is not beating around the bush. He doesn't give a shit. He made a movie that looks really cool and is shouting out and referencing a lot of cool stuff from the 70s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Straight up.
So, now, for you, let's talk about what we did predict. Let's talk about.
Okay.
So you go ahead. What you predicted whenever we were at dinner before you saw the film.
What did I... All right, so what did I say? All right, so I remember saying that I was pretty sure this film was going to end with Arthur Fleck as Joker killing Thomas and Martha Wayne.
Yeah.
And I was close.
Yeah.
The film does end with the death of the Waynes, not by Arthur's hand directly.
He's definitely why, though.
He definitely is the reason. But it's one of his faceless acolytes who kills the Waynes to make a statement about, fuck the wealthy.
Yeah. And
basically, Arthur Fleck creates a Gotham that needs Batman. That's the vibe I got from this.
Yeah. He literally is. He's successful by the end of the film in creating mass chaos.
Yeah.
He's allowing people to finally be free of like suppression and be able to stand up and say, "Fuck you! You're stealing from us. We don't want to live that way anymore." Which can be seen as heroic, but certainly the way he does it is not heroic at all.
Joker is he's a monster.
So it's pulling you in both directions where you're like, shit, I kind of feel bad for this guy. I kind of want to root for him because he's like freeing these people of this, it's basically slavery. Gotham is a shit show, and it is 100%. The rich are right here, and everybody else is in the shitter,
Yeah.
And Gotham is a dirty town and really nasty. And you got a guy who these people look up to because he's willing to actually stand up and say no and do things about it.
But the thing he does is murder 3 people on the train.
That's what I'm saying. The way he does it is like, you can't do that, man.
No.
You can have a protest, but you can't do that.
It's crazy. And the weird thing is, throughout this movie, we're almost entirely on Arthur's side because it is Arthur's movie.
All through his perspective. Yeah.
Like, what are your thoughts, without thinking, about Thomas Wayne in this movie?
Wait, say that again.
Without thinking, like, immediate thoughts about Thomas Wayne, what do you, like, how do you view him?
Yeah, piece of shit.
He's a piece of shit. Exactly, but is he?
I don't know. I know. Todd Phillips very much is saying, fuck the Waynes, there's no question about it, this is how you're going to feel.
Because, like, objectively, what does Thomas Wayne do in this movie? He points out that poverty's bad, that he wants to change it. He gets mad at Arthur Fleck for harassing his son.
Yes.
He's very...
And for harassing him inside of a restaurant.
Choking his butler.
Yeah.
He's actually very calm about it. Says, hey, look, don't come back to my house ever again.
Yeah.
I know what you did. Your mom's insane. This is not true. He's very calm with Arthur until Arthur starts laughing at him and then he lashes out. But Thomas Wayne is never does anything bad.
No.
But we see him as a horrible person because we're seeing the movie through Arthur's eyes.
Exactly.
That is insane.
It really is. It's such a brilliant device to use.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's brilliant. This movie is so layered. It's insane. It's like we're seeing Joker tell his own story to us.
Yeah, which is never... That's what I was saying. This has never happened with this character. Joker is always... The power of Joker is almost like the power of, like in Jaws. You don't see the shark very often, so it's scarier when you do. Joker always shows up in big moments, like Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger. They're not on the screen the whole time. This movie finally was like, no, the movie's going to follow this guy.
Yeah.
And that's never happened. And it was pretty fucking cool. I don't think... I don't think it's for everyone. Like, I don't think I think some people could be bored watching that character just kind of like...
I agree.
Sit in front of his TV and like...
This is very much not a comic book movie. It's not a Batman movie. No. It's a character study and a crime drama.
Yeah. On a guy named Arthur Fleck who just happens to call himself the Joker by the end of the movie.
Yeah. This is about one man's descent into utter madness.
Yeah, and Todd Phillips was like, hey, I think I'm going to use something DC related so that a lot of people will come see it. Because you and I would go see it because we'd be like, that looks like a stylized movie that looks fresh out of the 70s.
Yeah.
We'd go see it. If there was a movie named Arthur with Joaquin Phoenix in it.
Yeah.
We're going to go check that out.
Very much.
But all these other millions of people, no. That's not enough. So let's go ahead and let's make it Joker. Because it really could be its own movie. And, you know, it really is so much like Taxi Driver in that way where it's just this standalone tale about this guy, and we don't really know what's true and what isn't. Fascinating.
It is fascinating. So the film stars Joaquin Phoenix.
Of course.
As Arthur Fleck, multi-Oscar nominee, probably going to get one for this too.
Yeah, it's time.
And he might win for this. He really deserves it.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course we haven't seen, Ford vs. Ferrari. We haven't seen Marriage Story. There's a lot of talk behind Adam Driver in that. Pain and Glory, apparently Antonio Banderas is wonderful. So there's guys, but this is it's Joaquin. He hasn't gotten one yet. And he's never been in a movie. Because, look at these movies, his IMDb. He's never been in front of America.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Maybe Walk the Line, but...
Even then, I just... Yeah. We're I don't know. Joker? It's so much bigger. You got Signs, Buffalo Soldiers, Gladiator, The Yards. Gladiator was seen by a lot of people, but not because of him.
That's true. He's the bad guy. He's
not... Signs, The Village, Hotel Rwanda, Walk the Line, We on the Night, Reservation Road, Two Lovers, I'm Still Here, The Master, The Immigrant, Her, Inherent Vice. He's working with Paul Thomas Anderson and Spike Jonze and James Gray. These guys are filmmakers who only they're going to make around 60 to 80 million for their movie. And Joaquin's in this Joker movie that everybody is seeing. At least it seems like it. And that's really amazing. I'm really happy for him that people are finally going to see him.
Yeah.
In his entirety. It's really cool. My God, does he perform in this movie?
Jesus Christ. He's emaciated. His laugh is insane. Scarier than any other Joker's laugh, I think.
The weight loss that he went through, his body looks unbelievable.
The way he carries himself, the way he his eyes move before his head does. It's a psychopath. It's a very obvious psychopath. And that's cool. Past movie Jokers, we've had hints of psycho, but there's always been the clown at the heart of the psycho.
And then the camera always cuts away from them.
Yeah.
Because the Joker's they're done doing their evil thing, so we'll leave them away and focus on Batman. This movie's no, we're going to stay on him.
Yeah.
Because he's it. He's the movie.
And this time, you're watching one man, as society just beats him down to the point where he's tired of fucking everything. Yeah. And he's going to do it his way. And it's unbelievable.
I mean, early in the film, we see him. He's working, holding a sign.
Yeah.
So his job, I guess we'll explain now.
Yeah, sure.
Kind of the plot and whatnot.
He's a clown for hire.
Yeah, just a guy. Yeah, you'd be hey, here's $20. Come perform at my party. Yeah,
or stand outside my business and wave a sign around.
Yeah, which is what he does. That's the first job we see him doing. And these kids, fucking mean ass kids.
Yeah,
Jesus. And I always hate when I see that in movies because fucking kids are like that. Dude.
And he looks all happy and joyful.
Yeah,
and
he's just doing his job.
And they steal his sign and beat him with it.
Beat the shit out of him. They beat him up with it and start kicking the piss out of him.
And then his boss gets pissed at him
for losing the sign. Yeah. And he didn't even lose it. It broke because they hit the shit out of his head with it.
But Arthur doesn't contest it.
No, he just lets it. Yeah.
He's he knows he's not going to win, so why bother?
Yeah.
He's just so beaten down by life.
And we early on see a guy that he works with.
Yeah.
Which is, guess who? Old Randall, who is also a criminal in Gotham. That's a guy who's appeared in some comic books. He's played by, what's his name?
Glenn Fleshman.
Yeah.
Was he in Jordan Peele's Twilight Zone?
Yes.
The racist cop?
Yes.
I thought so. Okay. Yeah, Officer Lasky.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I saw him somewhere. Yeah, but he's a piece of shit.
He's terrible, and right away he fucking early in the movie, after he finds out he is getting beat up, he gives him a fucking gun.
Yeah,
gives this guy who's clearly unstable a gun.
That's their first nod to Taxi Driver.
And I this might be looking too far into it, but I think it was also looking at how easy it is to get a gun today.
Yeah, I'm sure there
in society. Yeah. I just think Todd Phillips is doing that for fun. See how ridiculous this is.
Yeah, he's making a lot of political statements.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say where I stand on that here or there, but it is cool to see someone kind of
We're here to analyze the film, not social issues.
Yeah, no, it's for whatever different time. Different. That's not for a podcast.
Yeah,
that's for us sitting at a bar talking.
So, Arthur lives with his mother, Penny.
Yes,
Penny Fleck, in Gotham City. The city rife with crime, unemployment. The rich get richer, and the poor get poorer. It's just life sucks.
Not
in
much
Gotham
middle
City.
class. Yeah,
I think it takes place in the 80s.
81, I believe.
81.
Yeah, early 80s. Yeah.
And Arthur has a strange relationship with his mom. His mom...
in 1981. Part of the plan, yeah.
His mom is an invalid. She's not all there. You get that vibe from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
She's constantly mailing letters to Thomas Wayne. The wealthiest man in Gotham is running for mayor. And he never writes back. And she thinks that one day he's going to write back because he's rich. She used to work for him. And she believes that he will help her. And it's really sad because he could give a fuck.
Jesus, man.
And you learn that Arthur suffers from a brain disorder that causes him to randomly laugh uncontrollably. And he goes to see a social services worker for medication. He talks to her. And at the end of the movie, he makes this statement that she never listens to him. And I get that vibe big time.
Yeah.
I'm on his side with that. She is completely ignoring him during the session.
Just trying to get through the session to the next one.
Yeah.
Which is also, again, another reflection on society and how it's just people just don't give a shit. They just want their money and move on to the next thing. Yeah.
Like when he says, you're always asking me if I have negative thoughts. All I have are negative thoughts.
Yeah, but you won't fucking listen. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Ugh. This movie is a powder keg that gets lit at the beginning and blows up several times.
Yeah. For an hour and a half straight. Yeah.
You know it's going to pop, you just don't know when.
Mm-hmm.
And that's brilliant because you're just waiting for that moment. And there's so many things in this movie that could be construed as the moment.
Yeah, that's true, especially when you don't know what's true and what isn't.
Yeah.
Going on in his head, yeah.
Exactly. It's brilliant. And Arthur wants to be a stand-up comedian. He writes down all these jokes in a joke book. And let's talk about his handwriting for a second.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
What the fuck? That is the handwriting of a psycho. It's so... Ugh. And you know whose handwriting it looks exactly like? Travis Bickle's.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same handwriting.
It's got to be a play on that, yeah.
I'm so glad you made me watch Taxi Driver before we started talking about
so Connor hadn't seen Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
The parallels they're kind of frightening. So I was like, he needs to see this movie before. Plus, it's just a all-time Scorsese, De Niro.
Yeah.
You know, what's fun about that one is with Taxi Driver is same as Joker. Is like you're really just watching this one guy. Everyone else is kind of background noise. You're just like, I'm locked in with this guy, whether he's a good person or not. I'm here with him for the whole 2 hours.
Yep.
And both movies do that very effectively.
Arthur's a big fan of the Murray Franklin Show. Murray Franklin, played by legendary Oscar-winning performer Robert De Niro.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Bickle, Rupert Pupkin.
Himself.
Oh my god. Just the fact that he's in this elevates this movie to an impossible degree.
Yeah.
And it's so cool. Because he's playing Jerry from The King of Comedy. He's Jerry Langford.
Yes.
And this is... I viewed it as Rupert after he got famous.
Mm-hmm.
He took the show over. And Arthur has these same delusions of, being on the Murray Franklin Show and getting to meet Murray and Murray embracing him like a father and saying, you're the funniest guy I've ever met. Like, you are worth it. You're worth something. And that is so sad that he has those visions.
And, yeah, it's like false validation in his own head. It's really sad.
It's crazy. And
this has been used in countless things, and Connor and I talk about one of the things we love about characters is like sometimes you start rooting for somebody you shouldn't be rooting for.
Yeah.
But that's like the power of storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
But this movie is like making you feel bad for him, especially before you know about like that twist of things aren't actually happening.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like, oh man, like this guy, like I just want something good to happen for him.
It's funny because this is the most insane, evil comic book character of all time. And we feel bad for him. We shouldn't. We know who he is. We know what he's going to become. We should never feel an ounce of sympathy for this guy.
And we've seen it 100 times.
Yeah. But we feel bad for the guy because he is our hero, in a way. It's very strange.
Yes, to say the least.
He runs into this lady in his building, Sophie, single mother, invites her to his stand-up show.
Zazie Beetz. She's a great performer.
You might know her as Domino in Deadpool 2.
Yeah, she's Donald Glover's partner in Atlanta. she's a great performer.
Yeah. And they start dating. And in one of probably the funniest scene for me, Arthur's entertaining at a children's hospital, and the gun he bought from Randall falls out of his pocket.
In front of 15 kids who are all in the hospital. Yeah.
And he just awkwardly grabs it, puts it back in his pants, and then is like, it's a prop.
Yeah, it's part of my act, yeah.
He is immediately fired. And yeah, of course, you would get fired for that. And Randall lies to the boss, tells him Arthur bought the gun, says nothing about his own involvement.
Yeah.
And Arthur is pissed. But, he's internalizing it, because that's what he does. He internalizes everything that happens to him. And he takes the subway, he's still in his clown makeup, and he gets assaulted by 3 drunken businessmen from Wayne Enterprises. And he shoots 2 of them in self-defense and straight up executes the 3rd guy. And this starts a chain reaction that leads to the chaotic destruction of Gotham society.
What a brilliant scene.
Yeah.
The subway is moving at a fast pace. Joaquin has his clown outfit on. He's laughing at these 3 guys are just wasted. These douchebags are wasted, messing with that girl.
Yeah.
That's some context that they're dicking around that girl, Joaquin.
And one of them starts singing "Send in the Clown."
Yes.
Which,
oh man,
so
why would you ever sing that? And he starts getting attacked by these guys because he can't stop laughing, and they're like, "What's so fucking funny?" And shit hits the fan, and he shoots them in self-defense. And then the 3rd one is when it's kind of it flipped the switch.
Yeah,
where he became.
This is one of those moments.
Yeah, where it's not. I'm not acting off of oh, woe is me. It's I want to cause that guy some pain. Yeah.
And he doesn't. It's not a kill shot. He shoots him several times.
Oh yeah, and oh man, it is breathtaking. That scene, the way it's shot.
Yeah,
him chasing. Yeah, that 3rd, and that guy's the drunkest of all of them. The last guy he kills, and he can barely. He's already been shot. He's barely get through the subway. He gets off the subway. He's trying to get to those stairs, and no, just boom, boom, boom. Arthur says, "No, sir," and then fucking sprints up the stairs. I gotta get out of here. And then you see that's another legendary shot. Todd Phillips has an eye of him running through the streets with his giant ass shoes. Boom, boom, boom.
And he immediately goes home, goes to Sophie's apartment, and kisses her passionately.
Yeah.
And just to show, murder brought out something in him that he's never felt before. Power.
Yes.
And
desire
and rage. Yeah. He associates murder with sexual gratification, which is not good. No. That's serial killer stuff right there. And the murders are condemned on TV by Thomas Wayne, running for mayor. He calls people who are envious of the successful, basically the poor people, he calls them clowns. And that starts full-blown riots with people saying, fuck Thomas Wayne, with signs and saying...
Yeah, and there's a bit where, what's her name, Zazie Beetz?
Sophie.
Where Sophie says, fuck him, I think he's a hero.
Yeah!
She says that to Arthur.
About the clown murderer.
Yeah, fuck those Wayne guys. Those guys worked for Wayne. Those guys are rich. They don't... I think she says there's just 3 less douchebags in Gotham now.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man.
Arthur found the perfect woman. Huh. And the rioters take on this clown persona, these clown masks. Thomas Wayne called them clowns. The guy who murdered the 3 guys was a clown. So, they take up the murderer as an icon of their rebellion. And it's crazy. And Arthur finds out that the funding has been cut for his social service program, and he can no longer get his medication. And he is on a lot of medication.
Yeah.
Arthur goes to perform a stand-up show. It goes really, really bad. He laughs uncontrollably, can't deliver his jokes because he can't stop laughing.
Tells terrible jokes.
There's terrible jokes. And he gets mocked on TV by his idol, Murray Franklin, who calls him a joker.
Yeah.
And Arthur's devastated. At this point, Arthur reads one of Penny's letters and finds out via letter that he might be the illegitimate son of Thomas Wayne.
Yes.
And he's angry for at his mother for hiding this truth from him. So Arthur, now, destroyed and wanting to know more, is this true, goes to Wayne Manor. Where he meets Bruce Wayne.
This is the first time we really see a Batman connection.
Yeah. And it's just the possibilities here of Joker meeting Bruce Wayne. It's fascinating to me.
Yeah, it truly is. Now I'll go ahead and say I don't see these two. Like, Bruce Wayne was clearly like 10.
Yeah.
And this Joker, Joaquin, is about 45 years old.
Yeah.
So to me, there's no world in which they can both exist in.
Yeah.
But maybe, hear me out here. This would be a cool sequel to Joker.
Okay.
Let's find a young Gordon, and let's have him take on Joker for a bit.
What now?
Yeah.
Okay.
They did it in the TV show. Let's see it on the big screen, properly.
Damn.
With a real actor as doing what Gary Oldman did so well.
Maybe. What I'd rather do is I would have Pattinson's Joker be somebody who was influenced by Arthur Fleck.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's.
I would like them to do that.
I think that's very likely
because I like seeing Arthur's transformation into the Joker. But my favorite thing about the Joker is you don't know who he is. You have no idea where he came from. You don't know what made him this. He's just this.
Yeah.
He's this evil force of nature that exists to fuck up everything in his path.
Yes.
And even Batman can't really stop him. And I want to see another Joker like that. Ooh, okay.
We just saw a thing on IMDb that says all 6 villains for the Batman, which comes out in 2021, have been revealed.
All 6?
View story. Yes,
Jesus.
Please. Maybe we'll find out some stuff for you guys.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm sure some people already know. But
this is from 4 months ago.
Yeah, we might be behind. Or maybe this is all just speculation.
This might be bullshit. Let's see what we got here. We got Riddler, which has been confirmed with Jonah Hill. We got Two-Face. We got possibly Scarecrow and Bane. We got Firefly and the Mad Hatter.
Jeez.
If they're going to do like some kind of Arkham thing, sounds great.
Yeah, that's awesome. I cannot wait.
But I had heard it was Catwoman was going to be involved. Who knows? The only one I know for sure is Riddler.
Yes, which is great.
Yeah, that's fine. But I don't want them to go too big too fast.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, but take care of your children like Marvel has.
Yeah.
Take care of your babies.
Exactly. So, excited.
For sure. Yeah. It's great.
Very excited. I think Pattinson's going to be a decent Batman. I'm excited to see him do it.
Man.
Matt Reeves is a great choice to take on that thing. His Apes movies were fucking great.
Matt Reeves and Phillips to save DC?
Maybe.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
So, Arthur meets Bruce Wayne and kind of holds his mouth open to make him smile, which is creepy.
Very creepy scene.
Shouldn't put your...
Also, that little kid is creepy as hell, too. He doesn't fucking say a word the whole movie. So
he doesn't, does he? No.
He just, stares into nothing, yeah.
And Alfred pops up, which is cool. I didn't expect to see him, and tells Arthur, get off the property. Who the hell do you think you are? Don't touch Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And Arthur's like, look, I might be Thomas Wayne's son, and I just want to talk to him. Arthur's like, Alfred's like, oh, okay, you're Penny's son. I knew she was going to come back into our lives eventually.
This is going to happen someday.
Your mother was crazy. Please leave the property right now. And that's when Arthur reaches through the bars and grabs Alfred's throat and says, don't call my mother crazy. And it's nuts. You think, like, oh shit, he's going to kill Alfred. But Arthur wises up. He gets the hell out of there before anybody can do anything.
Runs off. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Ugh.
And that's when he gets visited by the cops. And
Bill Camp. Fucking Bill Camp, man. And Shea Whit. Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
They awesome. I want more of those guys. I think those guys would be...
Detectives Burke and Garrity of the GCPD.
They're fantastic.
They are fantastic. And they're like, look, you were a clown. You were fired. Clown murdered those businessmen. You do the math. We want to talk to you.
Yeah, just come on. Answer some questions.
And while they were... they went to the house first to talk to Penny, and they made her inadvertently have a stroke by making her too stressed out over accusing Arthur of murder. So Arthur goes to the hospital to talk to his mom. That's when the cops talk to him there, and he gets very confrontational with the cops. Says he got fired because he wasn't funny enough.
Yeah, and he's striving to be a comedian, and he's like, okay, I'm going back inside to take care of my mom. Joaquin is so damn good at smoking cigarettes. He owns those things on the camera, and he's done it for a long time. He probably smokes in real life. He's got so many roles where he smokes, but it's like a big part of his character. He's always smoking, like always has a cigarette lit.
Yeah,
while he's doing whatever it is that he's doing. Yeah,
the way he flicks it to emphasize shit.
It's really amazing. Smart. And there's times where like there'll be like an inch of ash just hanging off because it's just hanging in his mouth, like it's just a necessity, a part of his life. Like, oh, it's amazing. Truly.
So, Arthur goes to confront Thomas Wayne at a public movie screening of Charlie Chaplin's Modern Times.
Classic.
Great movie. I wonder what the connection is to Joker. Like, what's the subtext there?
I don't know, but there was cool stuff referenced the whole movie, man. Like,
yeah.
On the marquees and stuff.
So great. And he confronts Thomas in the bathroom and says, I think you're my dad. Thomas is like, hold on, boy. I know your mom. She was crazy. And I'm not your father. Stay away from my son. And Arthur's like, don't call my mom crazy. And he's like, your mom's crazy. And Arthur
punched him in the face.
Arthur starts laughing uncontrollably because that's his condition. Thomas gets offended, punches him in the face.
And says, like, next time you won't be walking away.
Yeah, he says, like, stay away from me or I'll fucking kill you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Todd Phillips really making that Wayne family look like a bunch of winners. Yeah. Jeez, man.
So, Arthur decides to go visit Arkham State Hospital to find out exactly what the deal is with Penny. And he steals Penny's case file, and the file says Penny adopted Arthur as a baby and allowed her abusive boyfriend to harm them both, mentally and physically. And Penny alleged that Thomas used his influence to fake the adoption, committed her to the asylum to hide their affair. So she's just, down the rabbit hole conspiracy theory wackadoodle.
Yeah.
And Arthur's freaking out. His mother's not his mother. He has no idea where he came from. Who is he? Who knows? Arthur Fleck doesn't exist, basically.
Yeah.
So he is distraught. So he goes to the hospital and he murders his mother. Smothers her with a pillow.
That's 4 people he's killed now.
Yeah. He then goes to Sophie's apartment, unannounced. When she sees him, she's terrified and asks, "You're Arthur from the elevator, right? From down the hall."
You're in the wrong apartment.
They are not dating.
Nope.
It was all in Arthur's head. Mm-hmm. They've never had any interaction beyond the elevator at the beginning.
Yes.
Wow. What a crazy
twist, yeah. You kind of could feel coming.
Yeah.
But you didn't know quite how it was going to unfold. Amazing.
So all of Sophie's interactions with Arthur have been fake in Arthur's head, his desires, which makes you wonder how much of this movie is real. What have we really seen?
No idea. Kind of a Taxi Driver type thing,
yeah.
huh?
The unreliable narrator.
Yes.
Joker telling us his own story. It's...
You got a crazy person, telling his own,
Crazy. So Arthur gets a phone call inviting him to appear on the Murray Franklin show because they've been playing clips of him and the clips have been very popular. So as he prepares for this, he's visited by his former co-workers, Gary and Randall. Randall's the guy who sold him the gun. Gary's this little person who worked with him. And Arthur brutally murders Randall. Fucking brutally stabs him with scissors and then beats his head into the wall.
Yeah, shout out to Heath Ledger's Joker. He stabs him in the eye. Just like Joker did with the pencil.
Joker likes the eye.
Yeah, and then take that fucking Cliff Booth. We saw you bash some heads in, but I don't know if you did it as well as Joaquin with Randall. That was brutality.
2019, year of the head bash.
About 4 too many head bashes from Joaquin. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah, that was...
He went again and again.
Yeah, he hate fucked that guy.
Oh yeah, that guy was just a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And it was just time for him to go. And Randall's based on, I can't remember his last name, is a famous like Gotham comic book character who's like a criminal in Gotham. Randall, I can't remember his last name. Randall something, but... That's kind of who he's loosely based on.
Sweet.
Just a piece of shit in Gotham.
And Gary is fucking horrified, and
it's like kind of funny. This scene's kind of funny.
he tries to leave, but he can't reach the lock.
Yeah, and Joaquin's sitting there laughing with a cigarette in his mouth and blood all over him with no shirt on.
Gary has to ask Arthur to unlock the door.
Yeah, so good.
And Arthur lunges at him and scares the fuck out of Gary. It's so horrifying. And he tells Gary, like, you were always nice to me, you can leave.
Yeah. So there's 5 people he's killed now.
But do you think he really let Gary go?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Is any of the movie real?
I don't know. So that is when Arthur decides to put the finishing touches on his new persona. He dyes his hair green, he puts his clown makeup on, puts on a purple suit, or a pink suit really, and starts dancing outside, a new man.
I learned something the other day about that song that's playing.
Okay.
The guy who wrote that song, I cannot remember his name. That song.
Oh, yeah.
That guy is currently in prison for a 20-year sentence because he raped and molested underage girls.
Gary Glitter, right?
Gary Glitter.
I remember that story, yeah. I forgot that was Gary Glitter.
And he's getting some fat paychecks from this movie. Really fucking sucks. Because, of course, people are going to hold on to that and be like, yeah, that's why you shouldn't go see that movie, you know? You're giving money to a guy who raped girls, and you're like, damn. Why couldn't you have chosen a different song?
Because it works too well.
It works tremendously well. I was I was
excited.
So locked in at that
Joker
point.
has arrived.
And Joaquin had arrived. You're like, whoo! I get the chills thinking about Joaquin just, again, cigarette in mouth, arms flailing around.
Walking down the hallway, just this arrogance in his step.
Yeah.
Like, I am here, tremble before me.
Yes.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
And as he's dancing on the stairs, the 2 cops from earlier see him and chase after him. And he ends up running through a crowd of clown protesters, steals one of their masks, puts it on, hides in the train.
Another great subway scene, yeah.
And the 2 cops are overrun by the clown protesters, and Arthur escapes in the chaos.
Yeah, and Shea Wiggum, I can't remember which cop he is, but he actually shoots somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually fires his gun because there's so many damn people in the subway.
And when Arthur throws the mask away, I was talking to a guy at work today, and he brought up the idea that is Arthur throwing himself away. He's throwing away Arthur Fleck right there. Joker's driving now. The clown mask represents who he was, but now the mask is off.
Yeah, that's how I see it. I see it very much.
Joker is who he really is.
Very much as I'm finally who I am. I'm finally being me.
Brilliant.
Well, when he says he's like, no one ever noticed me until now.
No one cared who I was till I put on the mask.
Yeah, amazing.
Bane.
Amazing, because it's like these like simple philosophical questions that we all have, like, what are we? Why do we feel like we have to wear a mask in our everyday life, to operate, to go? Why do we have to feel like we have to be fake at our job? And Joker's like throwing all of that out the window and being like, I don't give a shit. I'm going to act exactly how I want each second.
Yeah.
Really crazy.
It's oddly inspiring, but not in the right way.
I get a lot of Fight Club vibes.
Yeah, there's definitely
especially with that twist, it's like,
there's some Fight Club influence for sure.
Yeah.
It's
and just that, like, you're not special, you need to, like, take advantage of your life, don't fucking listen to the 1%ers, don't let them control you, all those, Mr. Robot, there's so much stuff.
Your life is your own.
Yes.
And live it your way.
Yeah.
Maybe if that includes inciting riots and murdering TV show hosts.
And your mother.
Yeah, maybe leave
it. Well, your adopted mother, who's insane, but...
So, Arthur goes to the Murray Franklin show, he's going to go on, and he's talking to Murray in the dressing room, and he gives Murray one simple request, that he introduce him as Joker.
That's a great bit, because that's when Mark Maron is in it.
Oh, yeah.
And Mark Maron's like, what the fuck? This guy's going to go on with all this goddamn makeup on his face? And De Niro's like, no, I kind of like it. It'll work. It's a good, it'll be good.
He insists it's not a political statement.
Yeah.
Because the clown has become the face of rebellion in Gotham City.
Yeah. Mark Maron's like, I don't think this is good timing.
He's so aggressive. Mark Maron is so aggressive.
He's great, man.
Murray's like, hey, calm down.
He had Mark Maron on his podcast the day it came out, had Danny DeVito on his podcast.
Shit.
And so they talked about the new movie, and they talked about, of course, Batman Returns, 1992.
Cool.
That was amazing.
I forgot to bring this up earlier in the comedy club. Gary Goldman is doing stand-up.
Oh, yeah.
I fucking love Gary Goldman.
Yeah.
I did not expect to see him. That was cool.
That's, great. Again,
I'm looking forward to his new stand-up special, The Great Depression.
Oh, yes. Bring it on.
So Arthur goes on the Murray Franklin show as Joker. Walks out to roaring reception, begins telling very messed up jokes, and that's when he admits that he murdered the men on the train and started this whole thing. And at first, they don't believe him; they just think he's being shocked, doing shock jokes. But
and some of there's like a couple guys behind the camera who are like, let's cut, like let's just go off air. And De Niro's like, no, I'll keep going, I'll keep going down this rabbit hole. Why?
Ratings.
He's and that could be, that's another thing that I think Phillips is look how greedy people are for like ratings and for attention, and like look what we did. It's like, yeah, but you're allowing this unstable man to do something that's so evil because you're basically enticing him and tempting him to do so.
Yeah,
you're fucking with him and to his face. It's really crazy, like how it unfolds and how. Well, I've always thought, what if there was a movie about those guys who who go insane and shoot people or kill people? What if there was a movie like that? And like, this is it. We have a movie from the perspective of that. And what a climax, that scene. Yeah. What a climax.
His original plan, Arthur's plan, was to go on the Murray Franklin show and kill himself.
Yeah.
He was going to blow his own brains out.
Yeah, we see him like practicing it at home, watching TV.
So he has a gun. And Murray starts asking questions like, why did you do it? Why do you think it's okay to kill these people and laugh about it? And Arthur says, society abandons the disenfranchised, and he's one of those. And why should he care about a society that abandoned him? And, now he's just going to do what he wants with a smile on his face. And he says Murray is part of the problem because he mocked him.
Yeah.
He put Arthur's failed stand-up thing on TV so that he could make fun of him. And what does he say? You get what you fucking deserve.
Yeah.
And he
starts screaming, gets out of control.
He shoots Murray in the head, kills him.
Shoots him once in the face, and then gets up.
And shoots him like 3 more times.
Keeps shooting him while people are screaming.
Crazy. And then he dances to the camera and says Murray's sign-off line, "That's life," before he gets cut off by air. And then it just zooms out to a bunch of TVs covering the murder of Murray Franklin live on air. And it's crazy. And of course, Arthur's arrested. Riots break out all across the city. And you see one rioter corner the Wayne family coming out of a movie theater. And he murders Thomas and Martha Wayne right in front of Bruce. So, the inevitable has happened. The Waynes are dead. Bruce witnessed it. Batman will be born one day.
Yes. Indeed. Because of the chaos that Joker caused.
Yep. Rioters crash the cop car. They free him. He dances to the cheers of the crowd. Paints a smile on his face with the blood coming out of his mouth. And it's insane. Like, this city is beyond redemption.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's become the third world.
Yeah.
And it crosses over to Arthur in an insane asylum. He's in Arkham now, laughing to himself, tells the psychiatrist she wouldn't get it. He exits the room, leaving a trail of bloody footprints before he reaches the end of the hall, and he is chased by the orderlies. And that is Joker. Wow. Strong movie. Currently sits at a 9.0 IMDb score.
That's exactly what I give it as well.
And a 69% on Rotten Tomatoes, but with a 90% audience score. What a crazy, crazy film. And it's unlike anything I've ever seen in regards to comic book films.
Especially in theaters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You hear about movies that kind of like press buttons. A movie like Taxi Driver that came out, back in the 70s, or there's movies from the 80s too that... I have not seen a movie in theaters that was this intense. And there was so much, we saw on Friday night, opening night, but there's so much around it going into it. There's the theater we went to had a sign up that said, like, for the safety of everyone in the theater, we're going to be checking all bags. We live in Texas. There's tips about shootings that were going to happen at theaters in Texas. It really was a wild experience. But once we got out of the movie, it was like, finally, got to see the actual film. Actually got to digest the real film, the 2 hours of entertainment that I wanted to see. And it didn't disappoint me at all.
No.
It's pretty hard to live up to that kind of hype, you know?
Yes. Yes, I agree.
And it met right at that line that I wanted to. And, you know, for that, I give it a 9 out of 10. I think it's a stellar film.
I give it an 8. I think it was fantastic. I was blown away by Joaquin's performance. I'm surprised the movie contained as many Batman references as it did.
I know.
I was expecting them to shy away from a lot of that, but Todd Phillips knew that some things have to be shown if you're going to do Joker's story. Inevitably we're going to see the Waynes.
There's going to be some Bat fans there, so
yeah, nothing wrong with a little fan service.
Yeah, I agree, especially when it's
not too much, and it does fit the story. Too.
And it's 80s. It's not like cutting into anything. It's like this. It's a new era for DC, if you will.
Hopefully,
hopefully, and I'm excited. I think we've said that a few times in the past with DC. Like, oh, here we go now. But this movie's made like $250 million, and it's fucking October, and it's centered around Joaquin Phoenix, who's again not a guy who's like a like A-list movie star.
He's not a paycheck guy. He does movies very. Like, the movies he picks are very character-driven and stuff that challenges him.
Yeah, it's usually like he usually works with like directors that are very well known in big movies.
Like, don't expect a sequel to Joker. That ain't happening.
No, I wish. But
Joaquin does not do sequels.
Nope.
And I can't believe it.
And he's like, what's great is Joaquin's really he's like gonna run, like he's like running, like He's showing up to theaters in Los Angeles to talk to people, to do Q&As after the movie with fans. He's really putting himself out there. Like, I want to win. I want to win this Oscar. And
this movie's going to be in the running probably for a lot of Oscars.
For sure. And I don't want to say, because there's just so many movies we're going to have to see from now until February, but this, to me, is the front runner. He is the front runner for Best Actor. That would include, Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, what have you.
Probably Pattinson for The Lighthouse.
Robert Pattinson, yeah.
Maybe Matt Damon or Christian Bale.
Yeah, I was going to say, now
De Niro for The Irishman. Like, this could be anybody's game.
We have some stuff coming out soon, that's going to have some stuff to say. But Joaquin Phoenix, I think this is a guy that deserves some more talking. So,
for sure.
What are some roles of his before now? Is this your favorite?
My favorite Joaquin Phoenix role? Probably
this. Yeah. What would be the next one you'd point to?
My favorite Joaquin so far, I love him in Her.
So good. I think Her and Joker is a great double feature.
Yeah.
You're watching this kind of crazy guy in both
I don't know if I consider him crazy in Her. I think he's just lonely.
Yeah.
And sad, because
he
is falling in love with a consciousness.
Yeah. And
he seems like, other than that, a stable guy.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'd call him crazy, but it is a good double feature. I still have to see The Master.
Yeah, I love it. That's definitely up there for me. Her and Her and Vice. I know you're not a huge fan, but
he was good in it, but I didn't like the movie.
He's fucking awesome in it.
I fucking love him in Gladiator. That's probably my second favorite.
He's great in Gladiator. Walk the Line. He's great.
Yeah.
We Own the Night. I love Bobby Green.
Did you ever see Reservation Road?
Yeah, I like Reservation Road.
I like that.
Yeah. He's not bad in anything. All of these movies. He worked with James Gray in The Immigrant. We talked about Ad Astra. I think The Immigrant's like a stronger movie than Ad Astra as far as James Gray goes, and I think Joaquin's a big reason why. Earlier in his career, he like you said, Gladiator was in 2000, so he was pretty young, and that got him a nomination. So that really changed people's idea of what he could do. But and then he's in Signs and The Village. He's out there films, and he just does all kinds of shit. It's really cool, but this is no question the most definitive thing that he's done.
Yeah,
no question. It's not even close.
Mm-hmm. How do you think he stacks up against other cinematic Jokers? Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger, Jared Leto.
He's so different, which is why I like all of them. They all have their own thing. But what he brings that we haven't seen from anybody else is that he carried his own movie. Joaquin played Joker and carried his own movie, and I think Heath probably could too, but we didn't see that. And we never will, unfortunately. Yeah. But we also didn't see it with Jack. We didn't see it with Mark Hamill. We didn't see it with, Jared Leto. So, thank God. But he carried a 2-hour film. Yeah. Where he's on the screen the entire time. And I thought that's what was going to, be kind of boring about the film. But no, actually, that's in fact my favorite part of the film, is when it is it's like the space between the notes type thing. Watching him dance and just operate and smoke and kind of walk around his apartment is my favorite part of the movie, or are my favorite parts of the movie.
Yeah.
They're so stylized. And Todd Phillips really, he has an eye, man. He really does. The lighting and the textures he's kind of using with colors it's really beautiful. I love that. I think I think Joaquin added something that hasn't been done in Joker before, so that's what I wanted, was something new, something fresh.
We definitely got that.
What about you? What's your favorite thing that he added, to the character?
He added I don't know if this was intentional, but it happened, a layer of humanity we've never seen to the Joker. But even then, he didn't shy away from the character's psychosis. It's never stated that he's like a hero or a role model or anything. He's a psychopath who murdered at least 5 people in the movie. And but you still 6 Murray,
yeah.
But you still care about him. You still care about his journey. You want to know where he goes. You don't like seeing him get beat up. You don't like seeing him lose.
Quite frankly, I want to know what's going on with him in the hospital.
Yeah,
I want to know whose blood was that? Was that lady's? I don't know. What's going on? We won't get it though. We will not get it. Like you said, Joaquin doesn't do sequels, but it's probably better served, because 20 years from now, you look at this movie standing by itself, it's going to stand very strong.
Yeah.
Very strong.
Big time. So let's talk about the connections between Taxi Driver and The King of Comedy.
I love that, yeah.
So these were the 2 movies that heavily influenced the script and the style, really. And Taxi Driver especially, because it's roughly the same movie. Taxi Driver is the story of Travis Bickle, an insomniac and a lonely guy, slowly losing his mind as he drives a taxi at night through New York City in the 1970s, which was filth-ridden and just full of assholes and horrible people, pimps and murderers and drug addicts, and he wanted to clean up the streets.
Yes.
And he goes about the wrong way doing it. He goes crazy, murders a bunch of people, or maybe not. Might be all in his head. But you definitely see that in Joker in spades.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
It's actually kind of surprised me how much Todd Phillips, I would say, stole from Taxi Driver.
Stole, yeah.
Straight up. But De Niro was clearly okay with that, or he wouldn't have been involved in this. The other film, The King of Comedy, is about a mentally unstable, aspiring stand-up comedian named Rupert Pupkin, who is obsessed with the Jerry Langford show and goes to great lengths to try to be on that show, and kidnaps Jerry Langford, the host, and uses him as a bargaining chip to get on the show to make his debut. And it's a brilliant film, highly underrated.
Very.
Co-stars Jerry Lewis as Jerry Langford. And there are scenes in Joker, especially when he's practicing his intro on the Murray Franklin show.
Hi, Murray.
Yeah, it's straight out of King of Comedy.
Murray.
When Rupert's talking to the cardboard cutouts on the couch. And there's a line at the end of King of Comedy after Rupert gives his what do they call it? His set. And he says, after he admits that he kidnapped Jerry to be here, he announces to the world, better to be king for a night than schmuck for a lifetime. And I would say that line defines the Joker film almost to a T.
To a T, yes.
Just, my life is my life, and I'm going to go out with a bang. In Joker's case, literally.
Yeah.
So, that's, Joker.
Fucking
crazy
fucking
film.
Incredible. So much to unpack. We could keep going. It's because if we really, if you, it's one of those movies you can go into and think about for 5 hours and keep finding things and keep researching things on the internet. And it's just one of those gems, one of those cinematic gems. That's why I'm holding on to it so dearly, is because I love movies, and this movie is filled with references and like shout outs to old movies, and that's fucking cool to me. I don't want that to be in every movie, or for every movie to be styled like that, but if it happens every once in a while, I'm cool with it. It reminded me a lot of how I felt after Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where I was like, that was just fucking made for people who like movies, who just appreciate good shit, you know? Joker's one of the best movies of the year. That's really amazing.
Props. Right on. And if you want to hear more about the character of the Joker, you can check out episode 30, The Legacy of the Joker, where we go over all of the other actors who've played the character. And I think that about wraps it up.
Yeah, man. I mean, our Joker Weird Shit Wednesday is so much fun.
Yeah.
Highly suggest go listen to that if you haven't.
Yeah.
And highly suggest go see the film if you haven't.
If you're still listening here and you have not seen the film, I don't know what the hell you're thinking, but go see it. It is phenomenal, and even if you know what's going to happen, you owe it to yourself to see it unfold the way it does.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey.
Yes, very much. And we will see you next time.